Hey everybody, Steve Burns here. I wanted to show you a great little way of handling a value-based workflow technique utilizing this color image here. And the whole idea during our workshop is that we are actually going to be taking color and altering them along their tonal equivalent. Okay, so let's explore that possibility. I'm going to duplicate this layer a third time. As you can see, I've already done so once. And let's hit our Command or Control J. And then let's go ahead and duplicate it one last time. All right, let's turn off this top one here. I'm going to target the one right below it, and I'm going to hit my Command Shift U, which is going to desaturate it. So what we're looking at here are the actual values creating that particular image. And as you can see, our primary point of focus is the Statue of Liberty. However, it's being drowned out by all the other various values all around it. In other words, their tonalities are far too close to the Statue of Liberty for the Statue of Liberty to be the primary point of focus in this particular image. So now let's turn this one off, and let's do a technique where I'm going to alter this to, or use a technique and use a filter for actually altering the colors along various richnesses or depths or brightnesses of values of grays. Now I'm going to right click on the right hand side just so that I can target my convert to smart object. Once that's done, filter menu or image adjustments. Let's go right over here to black and white. Command. Now look what it did. I'm going to click OK for the time being so that you can see what's going on over here. On the right hand side, it allowed that particular command to be altered into a smart object or a smart filter, so that if I turn the visual aspects off on the right hand side of the smart filter, you can see your original color. If I hit it back again, we can see the effects that it's having. So in essence, it's simply desaturate the image. Now, the idea here with this filter is that I can alter colors along their tonal equivalent. So if I double click the black and white, we can see the colors that we can adjust. We can see the actual pure color in the middle of the slider. To the right, you can see that we can alter that color only to black or to a white. So for example, if I target the red and I pull all the reds down lower, we can see what's happening with anything that has red in it, or brighten it up with anything that has red in it. Okay, so, or I can take my mouse and click and hold on the blue sky and drag it and see what happens. Okay, so, or we can take the blues, see that, and we can alter them down. All right, very very amazing stuff. Now I'm gonna come right over here to this particular building, and I'm going to just drag left to right. There we are, and we can see using the dragging technique how those other values are going down deeper than the value of the Statue of Liberty. So you play around with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the preview, and we can see the original color, so it gives you an idea of what colors you want to affect. And the colors, the reds are so close together. If I can target the reds here, we can see all the reds are getting a little richer. That works there pretty well, and we're gonna leave that as is. Okay, so not bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click OK for now, so we have the beginning portions of it. Now, what I like to do here is control a little bit more our values in the image. So a lot of these areas around here are still a little bit too bright. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of a technique that I think you're going to really like. And I'm going to now, to start off with, I'm going to put this all into a group. So I'm going to hit Command G to group all that one. I'm going to double click that, and let's go ahead and call this one black and white. Let's capitalize that W. There we go. We hit enter. So if I turn that eyeball off, we can see the effect of our original color come back here. All right, so let's control the other highlights in the scene so that we can bring out the Statue of Liberty. Now, if I zoom in close, what we're looking at here is really a mask, or potential for a mask. In other words, I can apply a mask to this that's going to take these brighter areas down, utilizing the information that is already there. Well, how can I go about that process? I tell you what, why don't we duplicate this layer, Command J, and I'm going to just cascade it up so we're not looking at the filter. And then I am going to give it a filter or a mask, clicking the mask button on the side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mask everything out here. In fact, I have a better idea that I know you're going to love. Let's actually delete that particular layer, and let's keep it simple. I just took away the mask. I'm going to grab a curve adjustment layer. I'm going to hold the Alt or Option key so that all the effects of the curve are going to be applied to this layer underneath. So if I place a point here, we can see how things are being affected. Now, what I would like to do is bring down these highlight values. So the values in these are a little bit bright here. So I'm going to bring them down. I might even just take the mid-tones, richen them down, just bring them down to a lower tonality as well. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the bottom so it's easier for me to track. What I like to do is place, I'm going to turn this off. I want to place the tonalities from layer 1 copy 3 into this adjustment layer. So in essence, all the areas that are bright are going to show the effect. All the areas that are dark are not going to show the effect at all. So I'm going to place the layer copy. Actually, I'm going to go with the layer copy 2. I think that will be better. So I turn this off. It's basically essentially the same thing. So we're going to go to the layer right beneath it. Layer 1 copy number 2. We're going to put inside this layer mask. How are we going to accomplish that one? Image, not image size. The mask is targeted. Image menu. Apply image. What this simply means is take an image from somewhere else and place it where I want it, which is targeted. I'm going to make it a normal blend mode. Where are we going to, what layer are we going to utilize here? The layer 1 copy 2 and target it. There it is, automatically placed in the layer where we want it. Okay. Now, keep in mind that I have it turned off. I'm going to turn on the eyeball now and watch. See, your highlights are being affected, but it is affecting other areas as well. Why? I'm going to hit the Alt or Option and click on the mask because we have a lot of brighter values in these areas. Now, what if I control those values by hitting Command or Control M? I'm going to apply a curves directly to the mask. So Command Control M or image menu, adjustment, and go to my curves. Okay, and as I bring those down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bringing all the other values down, bringing up the brighter values, so I'm affecting only the brights but not most of the others. Bring it down like so. Again, nice and rich. There it is, and click OK. All right, so we're affecting more of the brighter areas and not the mid-tones or the other areas in the image. So if I hit Option or Alt, click back on the mask, go back to my original, this is what's happening so far. So we're flattening out everything around it. So I can double click on the curves and I can bring, see, I'm only going to be affecting those, see that? Only affecting those highlight areas. Now the last thing I'm going to do, one of the last things I'm going to do, is I'm going to just soften this mask. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And get in close so we can see the effect of this. Give it more of a blur. Okay, you see it's getting more of a contrast. It's adding sharpness there in addition to controlling your highlights. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Bring it down. Now, I'm going to turn it off and on. So the idea here is I wanted everything around her affected and not the Statue of Liberty. So make sure black is my foreground color. The B is targeted. Adjust my brush to proper size, zoom in close, and we're going to take away that effect completely off her body. And as I paint in here, we're bringing back the the more brighter luminance, the more contrast that we want for our main subject. In fact, she's a little bit still too dark for my primary point of focus. So what I'm going to do is brighten her up just a little bit. I'm going to add another adjustment layer, keep it simple, go to my curves once again, Option Alt, make it a clipping path, then bring her tonality up like so. Okay, and or you can do this. Let's keep the curves there. Give it a screen blend mode. See, that's much brighter. And then take the curves down so that we're adding a little more detail to some of these brighter areas. And I can, if I think they're too much contrast, I can add some subtlety by bringing down the highlights. Hit Command or Control I to inverse the mask. Now paint with white where I want the effect to happen. See? That's good. So now she starts to stand out tonally from everything else. So value-based workflow. We're using values to lead the viewer's eye to our subject matter. We're just painting it in. I'm going to get in a little closer so I can be a little more accurate, which is what you're going to want to do. You want to adjust your brush size as well as your brush feather. Getting down their hands on the book. If we go outside a little bit, hit the X key and paint back in the darker values where you want them. Hit the X key to bring in the brighter values where we want them, which is once again on our Statue of Liberty. Miss Liberty is standing out now. Here we are. Okay, that's it. Make sure we get around the edge properly. Make the brush bigger. There she is. Now, Miss Liberty is standing out a lot more prominently from the rest of the building. Now, let's turn this off and turn on the original values. These are the values that we had originally that creates the color image. This is why the image has the color to look like this. Now, what we want to do is replace these values with the ones that we've just created, those values. We're simply going to turn off the original black and white. Now remember, we're going to alter this into something more like this and simply go to a layer blend mode, luminosity, which means ignore the color, replace your values only, and there it is. Much more dynamic, much richer color, much more of a appealing image. And we can alter colors utilizing your selective color blend modes. Oops, let me go back and get selective color. So selective color adjustment layers, I should say. All right, we can always come in here and adjust things. So if you want more of this blue or greenish to be affected, or cyanish, you can come in here and start playing around with that stuff and altering the color according to taste. All right, there you are. That's our next video on value-based workflow for enhancing color. I hope this has been helpful. We'll see you soon.